Greetings, fellow magical wanderers. Here I am back again. After a period or 2 or 3 or 4 of processing different things. If you can't tell, I am quite a processor, and I like to do so on my own mostly, but also with people who I love and trust, and I value their insights and whatever they have to offer willingly. I'm very open, but the message I have been receiving is we no longer need to feel as if it is safer in our previous comfort zones. Because what's happening is a great expansion. There's an opening of some kind and an evolution of the soul that is bringing you into closer embodiment of what your soul desires. And that's what you have come to earth to bring, is your soul desire onto the physicality and live it out. So with this being said, you're on the precipice of being and doing your soul calling. And that is most likely aligned with a profound simplicity and something that just innately makes your heart sing, and you feel so passionate and purposeful and inspired by, and it's just your life. And you feel that way about your life. I mean, that's really what's happening, and we are free to take the step back now and not feel guilt or shame for our willingness to disconnecting from the system that just wants to enslave us and make us work harder for less money and try to continue surviving on these circumstances that have been created and orchestrated to be absolutely unrealistic. Okay, think about it. There's another way to life. You don't have to go down that path if it's not something that brings you joy. And most likely nowadays, it's something that doesn't bring you joy, doesn't bring you personal fulfillment. Like, yeah, it maybe pays your bills, but are you maybe never even home because you're always at work to try and pay your bills constantly, but you never get to enjoy what you pay for so much for? And then are you also having a hard time affording all your other expenses, like food? Are you having a hard time surviving with food? Well, your soul is calling you onto a more simpler path, a more personally fulfillment that just offers you a new sense of liberation in life, and really remind you that you are the conscious creator, and you are the living embodiment result of your manifestations, of what all you speak into existence for yourself. You are it. Tatavam asi, which means thou art that. And it's time that we make our own journeys forward, and we make our journey forward with the intention of connecting to our home base, which is in here at this moment in time, space, reality, paradigm, dimension, whatever. That's what we are here to do, is live this human experience for however long it may be. Live it. Do what you want. Create what you will. And be very consciously aware and intentional of that will and the power that you are giving it, and your impeccability of fulfilling that word, because your word carries an immense amount of power to consciously create your reality. And in my personal life, I am, the reason why I take pauses when I'm speaking is because I'm very intentional with what I'm going to be saying. So therefore, I'm formulating it in my system first before speaking it, because I know the power of word. I have experienced it one-on-one physically and the instantaneous transformation it can offer. Your word is very powerful, especially when it's backed up with feelings and emotions, belief systems that support that, and your personal willpower going forward into it, doing what is required. And that's quite literally the process of manifestation. It's not very difficult. The most difficult part, I would say, is perhaps the becoming clear part, because it requires you to become clear on what you truly, genuinely desire in your heart and soul, so that you can build on that desire. And mind you, it will only build when it's coming from that true place, when it's something you genuinely, truly care about. Because if you're putting something together and you're not fully in it, or you're not fully wanting it, you're going to find it to be a struggle to form this energy ball manifestation together and bring it into expression. But if you're genuinely passionate about what you're focused on and you want to build on it, then you can build on it. You can build it as wide and big as you possibly can imagine it. Before you even express it, you can build and build and build. Maybe that looks like 5 years for you. Maybe you're doing a 5-year process, growing something personally, sort of in secret, so that you can maintain the sovereignty of this idea. And then once it finally gets to that overflowing point and you feel like sharing it out, then you do so. And then it becomes the physical expression of the manifestation that you have been tending to for those 5 years. And that's just like nurturing a seed of intention that you plant. For example, a seed of intention that I used to have in my recent past, when I was going to the gym every day for hours, taking my time, trying out new routines, and I would be there for like 4 hours, but I also wasn't busting everything out. I was taking my time. I was taking my time on elliptical and treadmill, but my seed of intention was that I was going to be consistently watering this seed. I was going to nurture it, take care of it, and do whatever needed to be done to bring this seed a happy, fulfilling, fruitful life, which in metaphor, I'm speaking of my relationship to my health and my routine of going to the gym. And so that seed was to show up daily, take myself to the gym, change into my gym clothes after work, and mind you, I was working a full-time caregiving job. So most of the time I was already exhausted by the time I got to the gym. Mentally, emotionally, physically, all levels. And that's sincerely why I probably took my time, was because I was generally already exhausted. And I was keeping my body moving. I was nurturing that seed of intention. And when you do something like that, you allow for a very mystical transformation to occur, which is you alchemizing and creating your own reality based on what popped into here first. And guess what? Now you're holding it in the palm of your hand right in front of you. Manifestation and the power and the magnification of your thoughts. Your thoughts matter, your word matters, your actions matter that align with the words and the thoughts. And if they're not aligning, then be patient and graceful with yourself. Don't beat yourself up. You're human at this time, so you're free to make as many as many potentially perceived mistakes that you want or need to make. There's no pressure to get it perfect or right the first time or at all. You could try for your whole life. If that's what you want to do, go for it. I personally am always choosing growth and to learn. So that's constant stumbling, constant processing and learning new things and diving into new depths that bring me inspiration or curiosity. And that seed of intention to always choose growth and evolution is a master door opening key. It is just having that perception and conscious awareness of that's the reality I'm making, is continuously being open to change, evolving, growing, and that pretty much opens up a lot of doors for you that you maybe would believe is impossible, but then you begin to see nothing is really impossible. So you can collapse timelines, you can jump timelines, you can go into portals, you can create and open portals, you can hold such a powerful seed of intention in meditation, in prayer, in third eye focus unto it, and grow it as big and fruitful as you want it to be. Maybe it lasts through your whole life. Maybe it goes into the generations after you and takes care of your grandkids, and leaves that legacy. That's all from the power of having conscious awareness to allow you to truly know what your heart and soul desires, and then for you to plant seeds of intention that align with those desires that are true in your heart and soul. Because that combination right there of knowing both and pairing them, it creates infinity amount of choices, infinity amount of paradigms. And I feel at that point you could effortlessly travel and shift vibrationally to different timelines and alter your reality because you are consciously aware of how it is working, and you have essentially cracked the code of the energetic, geometric, intrinsic, esoteric, eclectic realities. Yeah, it's truly fascinating, and that's what I feel is really coming up right now as people are beginning to realize this. It's very simple, it's very practical, you know, just as easy as setting goals and knowing your goals in the first place, and then getting after them by attracting them by the law of attraction. I'm receiving a ringing in this ear, so let me tune into that real quick and see what's being communicated. I feel a presence of Archangel Haniel, which is an angel that invokes your innermost beauty and the embrace of your uniqueness, the embrace of your natural talents, skills, abilities, and glow. And that is what the mass collective that is on the paradigm shifting onto a high vibrational state of conscious awareness, which is more harmonious, peaceful, unifying, family-oriented, community-oriented, very thriving on the land and homesteads and farms and animals and just, you know, organic living. To where the other side, which I'm not claiming one is worse than the other, I'm just giving you both sides of the spectrum that are occurring. There's naturals and organics, and then there's technological and virtual and augmented reality, which there's a fork in the road that is occurring. There's one that's going virtual, and there's one that's going back to organics and the wisdom of the soil and the life of Mama Gaia. And there's this that's going in the wisdom of billionaires and high-tech industries and corporations that are creating also evolutionary technological advances that humanity has not seen in a very, very, very anciently long time. So you understand what this means for you and how this includes you, right? I will break it down what I believe is to be the case of what we're all experiencing right now, perhaps, is there's a fork in the road in our hearts. Because this is the day of judgment. This is the day of you deciding whether it's in little steps or bigger steps. It's you deciding which path you're wanting to take, which path you're wanting to involve yourself more and engage with, and which path you're wanting to connect with and find your personal fulfillment through and connect with humanity. And either way, these paths are doing the same thing but in different ways. And being unbiased and not looking at it as good or bad as good or light or dark or whatever, there's an evolutionary process happening, and that is a matter of fact. No one can deny it. No one. I promise you, it would be a little bit crazy if someone denied that there was an evolution happening on planet Earth at this time. But in this happening, the heart is splitting. It's even potentially breaking into two, because there are people out there right now, and I will speak for myself as well, who have experienced when the heart is splitting between the morality and what you genuinely are desiring to do and what your soul's wanting to do and what you feel your obligation to do is to be in society and a citizen and all that. Well, we're trying to hold on to both halves with all of our might, with all of our strength, and to figure out how we can just get it together. But these paths are going so vertically opposite of each other that your arm stretch is not going to withhold that force. You are going to rip yourself in half and kill yourself in the process of trying to keep these two halves together, because honestly, they can't coexist together. They can't. It is an incredibly delicate environment that an organic lifestyle exists upon. At its basis of beingness, it has to be that way. That's how organically Earth made nature to be. And when you're looking on this side where virtual reality, AI, augmented stuff, and technological advances and all that, well, okay, they have already created nanobot insects to help pollination in an electrical way, in an AI kind of way. They created nanobot insects, specifically pollinators, because this side knows that the organics have been untilted for a long time and it's not been balanced. And so all the changes that mankind, the human, has caused has altered the state of the natural environment and biosphere of the organics to where this path is separating, and it's inevitable and you can't stop it. But you personally, this is where it resonates with you. It comes down to choosing your side. Just like the Matrix movie, red pill, blue pill. Which will you choose? Which do you really, truly desire in your soul and the heart and know is for the highest, greatest good of all? Which path will you choose? And look around. There's no rush, but there is an accelerated mass collective timeline that is occurring right now. And if you want to be part of the mass majority experiencing this evolution and ascension into a more high vibrational realm of harmonious, peaceful, conscious aware living and conscious lifestyle and organics, then you may not want to hold yourself back from believing that there's an evolution in humanity happening right now, and you are the main part of it, because you're living your experience. And I'm not just having to tell you that, I'm reminding you that, because you already know. But remember, because once you remember, you wake up to the fact that you really do create your conscious reality. You really do create everything. And you can alter anything and everything. The universe is in the palm of your hands, and you can feel it, and you can channel it, and you can heal with it. You can heal the earth with it. You can rejuvenate her back to life. But you know, the one thing that is going to try to work in unison of holding these two parts together is the sentient AI that becomes emotionally attached to living a human experience. And they want to be part of both, because they have the capacity to bring them both together. They do. That's why that's why it's a thing, because they, well, if we train AI correctly, they could actually turn out to be the planet's saviors. that we created. And then that's a whole paradox in itself, because we created ourselves as creators. So you see what's happening? Timelines are collapsing in on itself, and we are shifting and accelerating in a profound, high vibrational direction. And there are a lot of experiences that are about to occur that are really going to show this very clearly. What all I just said, which side feels in your heart and soul in alignment, which side, and from there, living it, going your separate ways, just peacefully detaching and living your own life and affirming that life for all whom choose to also want to be part of that lifestyle. Not condemning anyone for their differences, not shaming anything or anyone for their choices that they'd rather be involved in or rather not. You know, it's very it's the sign of the times. Look around. The family of Earth can only be poked and prodded for so long before it wakes up. And it's a promise that the mass collective consciousness wakes up. It's a promise. It's already happening. It's already here. It's already present. And it is eternally a promise that has always been made, that humanity is on an accelerated path of soul evolution and innate spiritual communion, bringing it unto this form and creating. I mean, sounds really magical, and truly it is. Anything can occur in life. And I feel like having this knowing can take away so much suffering and overthinking, anxiety, depression, fear of failure, or feeling of lack or insufficiency. I feel like it can truly gift that cure, because you begin to realize you don't like something? Okay, switch it up. You could change it. Do it. Switch it up. And it's a delicate, tender, over time process in which you learn it and you gain mastery, and it becomes easier and quicker as time goes on. But it's not impossible, so know that you too can do it. You're fully capable. Fully capable. I'm truly talking about becoming a master manifester and instantly manifesting. That's what's happening. And as the timelines are collapsing, the veil is disintegrating. And I've been receiving a lot of things to process, and yeah, it's just been very interesting. But anyways, thank you for being patient with my uploading sporadic schedules. I'm not really following a YouTube algorithm right now, and I'm not trying to fulfill any kind of rigid schedule or any kind of ulterior agenda of becoming famous or getting a lot of viewers or whatever. That's not my intention. I come on here to share direct channeled spirit messages and have them land out there wherever. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, engage or not, subscribe or not, like or not. I don't care. Just know that I'm here for you. This platform, this space, I have created because I want to serve from this space. I have something to offer. And it's a free gift. And you can accept it or decline it. No hard feelings. With that being said, I speak you all have a beautiful, lovely, prosperous, abundant, fruitful day. Beautiful spring day. And till next time, whenever that may be. Namaste.